It's Wednesday, August 25th, 2021, which means it's time for the weekly report. For Ann O'Reilly, I'm Joshua Miller. Here we go. This week in job board searches and clicks. Truck driver searches were down 7% week over week, up 38% month over month, and up 16% year over year. Clicks were down across the board, with declines of 4% week over week, 14% month over month, and 5% year over year. Searches for truck driver jobs dipped from last week's record high as clicks fell for all major driver types except for team driver positions. This week in freight, load postings rose by 3% week over week, with all three major segments seeing increases. Dry van was up by 2%, refrigerated 5%, and flatbed was up by 4% week over week. Truck availability, however, was down 2% week over week, with declines of 7% for dry van and 2% for flatbed, while refrigerated availability remained flat. This all comes as the load-to-truck ratio increased to its highest level since late July, and the refrigerated load-to-truck ratio reached its second highest level ever. Spot rates declined by a little less than 1 cent per mile. Dry van rates were up by 3 cents, and refrigerated was up by 5 cents, but flatbed rates fell by 4 cents week over week. Except for a big jump in week 29, overall the spot market has seen decreases or modest gains since the month of June. But even with that being the case, the market is keeping pace with seasonal expectations. For the most part, flatbed has been the driving factor in that easing volume. Dry van has remained mostly flat, while refrigerated has been rising, especially in the past few weeks. But even with flatbed declining, all the numbers seem to match up with the seasonal expectations for the most part. And nothing we've seen in the latest data seems to suggest that the virus's recent resurgence is hurting freight volume. Now for the story of the week. Brace yourselves, Brake Safety Week is here. The Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance's annual Brake Safety Week is this week. We typically see a lot of drivers just take some time off and avoid the added hassle of the safety week altogether. With fewer drivers, more loads get pushed to the spot market, and to compensate for the high demand and lower supply of drivers and trucks, rates typically rise this week as a result. And while Brake Safety Week is national, you can expect states with the highest brake violations during normal vehicle inspections to see even more this week. The handy map on the screen over here highlights which states that are likely to see a jump in the number of violations. Now you may be asking yourself, what does this have to do with me and my driver recruiting? Well, this week is likely going to be a tough one and highly frustrating for the drivers who actually chose to stay on the road and work through it. They are likely going to be facing longer wait times and fewer miles. So keep that in mind when you or your team is dealing with drivers. Show a little empathy. With the safety week upon us, it's also the perfect time to mention your fleet's safety record when dealing with drivers. It's always important, but on a week such as this, it will be top of mind for most drivers out there. Another topic to hit with drivers is equipment. Air disc brake systems have a lower violation rate than the traditional drum brake system. So, if you have air disc brakes, bring it up. Emphasize the equipment your fleet provides and point out that they have a better record when it comes to those violations. Drivers factor a lot of things in when considering a new fleet, including things like braking equipment. Knowing your fleet provides the best possible systems that can help them avoid being flagged and kept off the road could be a big advantage for your recruiting. And that's it for this week's report. Check back with us next Wednesday morning for an all-new report with the latest stats, which will of course cover what happened this week during the nationwide brake safety event. We'll also cover a news story of the week, and as always, you'll be able to find that report on our blog page and our YouTube channel. I'll also put out the links on our Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn social media pages when it becomes available. So if you haven't already, follow us and you'll get all of the latest info when we post. Until next week, have a great week, everybody.